7 life lessons that will change you forever. The Stoic way. There are moments in life when a single idea lands so deeply in your mind, it changes how you see the world forever. The Stoics, ancient philosophers like Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus, believed that wisdom isn't about knowing everything, but about knowing the few truths that matter most and living by them every single day. Today we're going to explore 7 of those truths. Each one is simple to understand, but powerful enough to transform the way you think, act, and feel for the rest of your life. This isn't about empty inspiration or vague self-help slogans. This is about mental discipline, emotional control, and the art of living well in an unpredictable world. The Stoics lived in times of war, exile, betrayal, and loss. Yet they built a philosophy that not only survived 2,000 years, but still speaks to us today, because human nature hasn't changed. We still suffer from fear, anger, envy, and distraction. We still dream of success, stability, and peace of mind. And we still search for the wisdom to handle life without being crushed by it. So if you're ready, let's walk through these 7 lessons, not as distant theories from history books, but as living tools you can use today, tomorrow, and for the rest of your life. Lesson 1: control what you can, accept what you can't. The foundation of Stoicism is simple, but it's also the hardest thing to master. Focus on what you can control and accept what you can't. Epictetus, who began life as a slave, taught that our peace depends on this separation. We control our actions, our choices, our effort, our words, but we don't control the weather, the economy, other people's opinions, or the past. Most of our suffering comes from confusing the two, trying to control the uncontrollable. We stress over traffic, rage at politics, obsess over whether someone likes us, all wasted energy. The Stoic approach is to pause before reacting and ask, is this within my control? If yes, act with excellence. If no, let it go. This isn't passivity, it's precision. You're not giving up. You're redirecting all your strength to where it actually matters. Imagine steering a ship, the wind, waves, and storms, out of your control. Your sails, your rudder, your course, that's yours. If you master that, no storm can sink you. Seneca put it bluntly, we suffer more often in imagination than in reality. We make ourselves miserable rehearsing disasters that haven't even happened. We replay conversations that can't be changed. We carry anger toward people who will never even know how much space they occupy in our minds. Let that go. A practical exercise. Today, pick one frustration, traffic, a delay, a rude comment, and consciously release it. Not because you're weak, but because your peace is worth more than your pride. You'll start to notice something strange. The less you try to control the uncontrollable, the more energy you have to actually improve the parts of life you can control. And that's the shift that changes everything. Lesson 2 is Memento, Mori. Remember, you will die. If you think this sounds dark, you're missing the point. The Stoics didn't think about death to be morbid. They remembered it to live fully. Marcus Aurelius wrote in his private diary, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do, say, and think. When you remember your time is limited, you stop wasting it. Trivial arguments, petty grudges, pointless scrolling, they lose their power. Instead, you ask what really matters. Memento Mori doesn't make life smaller. It makes it sharper. Suddenly you notice the warmth of the morning sun, the laugh of a friend, the satisfaction of doing something well. You realize the someday you've been waiting for might never come. The lesson isn't to panic, it's to act, to make the call you've been putting off, to forgive someone before it's too late, to start the project you've been planning for years. A Stoic doesn't fear death. They fear living in a way that wastes life. So ask yourself, if I died a year from now, what would I regret not doing? That's the compass you should follow. Lesson 3. Discomfort is the price of strength. Seneca reminded us, a gem cannot be polished without friction, nor a man perfected without trials. The modern world tells us comfort is the goal, but the Stoics knew comfort is the slowest poison. We grow when we face challenges, not when we avoid them. Discomfort doesn't mean reckless suffering. It means voluntary training. Cold showers, early mornings, tackling hard conversations, lifting heavy weights, fasting, studying when your mind wants to wander. These sharpen you. If you only do what's easy, life will eventually become hard. But if you do what's hard, life becomes easier. When you embrace discomfort on your own terms, you're rehearsing for the unexpected. You're building a body and mind that can stand firm when life delivers real hardship. Don't run from discomfort. Train in it. Lesson 4. You are not your emotions. Your emotions are real, but they are not you. They are weather systems passing through the sky of your mind. Anger, fear, sadness, they arrive, they peak, they fade. The Stoics practiced observing these feelings without letting them dictate action. Epictetus compared it to watching a play. You can notice the drama without jumping on stage. When you say, "I am angry," you merge your identity with the emotion. Instead, say, "I am noticing anger." That subtle shift creates space to choose a better response. Feel everything, but let your reason, not your impulse, steer the ship. Lesson 5. Virtue over outcome. In a results-obsessed world, Stoics focus on virtue, acting with wisdom, justice, courage, and self-control, regardless of the outcome. You can control your actions, not the results. If you act with integrity and still fail, you've succeeded in the Stoic sense, because success is living by your principles, not chasing approval or luck. Do the right thing even when it costs you. That's the kind of wealth no market crash can take. Lesson 6. The obstacle is the way. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." To the Stoic, obstacles are not detours from life's path, they are the path. Every difficulty you face is not an interruption to your journey. It is raw material, given to you to shape who you are becoming. Think about fire. When you throw wood onto it, you might expect it to smother the flame. But the opposite happens. It grows hotter, brighter, stronger. The Stoics saw the human spirit in the same way. Hardship is the fuel. Struggle is the sharpening stone. Failed a business? You're not just learning spreadsheets and market trends, you're learning resilience. Got rejected from a job you wanted? You're not just dealing with disappointment. You're practicing humility and adaptability. Hit a wall in your personal life? You're not just facing frustration. You're building strength for the next climb. This is not optimism for the sake of feeling better. This is strategy. If you can see an obstacle not as a blockade, but as a forge, then every challenge becomes useful. You stop asking, "Why me?" and you start asking, "How can I use this?" A Stoic doesn't simply endure hardship, they use it. They convert the weight pressing down on them into muscle. They take the detour and find it leads somewhere better than the original plan. You will face loss. You will face betrayal. You will face days when it feels like life is against you, and maybe it is. But the obstacle is the way, because without resistance there is no growth. Without challenge there is no mastery. Next time you're hit with a problem, pause and ask, how can this become my advantage? It won't always be obvious. Sometimes the answer will come months or years later. But the act of asking reframes the problem instantly. It changes you from a victim of circumstance to an architect of response. And when you've lived enough years with this mindset, you realize something profound. The hardest chapters in your life were never wasted. They were the ones that made you. Lesson 7. Amor, Fati, love your fate. Friedrich Nietzsche borrowed this phrase from the Stoics. Amor, Fati, love your fate. Not tolerate it, not endure it, love it. This is the highest form of acceptance. It's not merely saying, I guess it had to happen. It's saying, I'm glad it happened because it's part of my story. Amor Fati is the mindset that says, whatever happens, good or bad, I will embrace it as necessary, even if I don't yet understand why. The loss, the failure, the delay, the heartbreak, it is all woven into the tapestry of my life, and I will not wish it away. Imagine your life as a book. You don't get to skip the chapters you don't like. You can't tear out the pages that hurt. If you did, the story would stop making sense. The hero's transformation always comes because of the trials, not in spite of them. When you stop fighting reality, you free yourself from constant resentment. You stop replaying the what if and if only scenarios that keep you trapped. You begin to see beauty even in the dark scenes. A Stoic who practices Amor Fati doesn't just accept that life can be unpredictable, they welcome it. Because every twist is a chance to grow. Every ending makes space for a new beginning. Seneca wrote, a good character, once established, is not disturbed by any fate, however adverse. Amor Fati turns fate from an enemy into an ally. It teaches you to meet whatever comes with open hands, not clenched fists. Think of the storms you've been through, times you thought you would never recover. Maybe you still carry the scars, but if you look closely, you'll see those storms carve the shape of who you are. They gave you depth, empathy, courage. Loving your fate doesn't mean pretending pain feels good. It means recognizing that the pain shaped you into someone who can face life with dignity and strength. And here's the paradox. Once you stop resisting what happens, life feels lighter. The events themselves may be just as hard, but you no longer waste energy wishing they were different. You adapt. You grow, you flow. In the end, Amor Fati is about trust. Not blind trust that everything happens for a reason in a cosmic sense, but trust that you can make meaning from anything. That whatever comes, you will live it fully and love it as part of the only life you'll ever have. Conclusion, 7 lessons. Control what you can. Remember you will die. Seek discomfort. You are not your emotions. Value virtue over outcome. Turn obstacles into opportunities. And love your fate. These aren't tips you try once and forget. They're a lifelong discipline. Muscles you build every single day. This isn't about checking boxes. It's about rewiring the way you move through the world. The Stoics didn't wait for life to get easier. They didn't demand perfect conditions. They lived through war, exile, loss, betrayal. And yet they remained steady. Why? Because they stopped trying to control the storm and learned to steer the ship. Your world will never be free of problems, but it can be free of pointless suffering. You can walk through chaos with a mind that is clear and a spirit that is unshaken. That's the real victory. So start small today. Maybe you let go of a petty argument that doesn't matter. Maybe you take one uncomfortable step toward a dream you've been avoiding. Maybe you stop scrolling for 5 seconds and actually feel the weight of being alive here in this fleeting moment. You don't need to master all 7 lessons at once. Even one will tilt your life in a better direction, because life is short. The clock is ticking whether you act or not. But wisdom, lived wisdom, makes that short life deeper, richer, and infinitely more worth living. If this helped you, share it with someone who needs it.